Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki, Ananta Kota Vaishnavinda ki, Nama Acharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki, Prayag se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaura Bhaktivedanta ki, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhana ki, Shri Vrindavan Dham ki, Shri Mayapur Dham ki, Ganga Maya ki, Yamuna Maya ki, Tulasi Deva ki, Bhakti Deva ki, Samiveta Bhaktivinoda ki, Agoura Premanande, all glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to the assembled devotees, glorious to the assembled devotees, all glorious to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namo. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nivasesha Sanyavadi Pastachare Shatarine. Om Ajnanatimanahandasya Gnanana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Kapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakatamayam Tadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Prabhupadakamam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Shri Rupam Sarvajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Bala Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhamrita He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopikatanta Namostite Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hare Priye Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta-vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. I might need my chadar. My chadar. Will we need a Tamil translation? Is there one? Oh, wonderful. They all know to go here if there's need. Some of the elderly ladies. Hare Krishna. Everyone over here speaking English? Can understand Bengali? Bengali? You understand English? You can. Just on my neck. Yeah. Just on the neck. On the neck. Well, happy to be back again after a year. Can you hear? Yes. Can you hear right outside? The devotees outside, can you hear? Yeah. It sounds a little muffled here. You know muffled? Pardon?
Speak outside.
No, but it sounds muffled here. It doesn't sound clear. I can hardly hear what I'm saying. No, it's not the mic. I had to put it away. It was worse when it came closer. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. A very exciting time. The challenges of the world around us are, I guess we're more aware, maybe due to modern communication. There's always a problem in this world. It's not that suddenly there's a problem. I doubt whether anyone in this room can remember, for instance, going through the Second World War. Some of you may have been born during that period of time. I'm not sure. Vaishnav, you were born during the Second World War, is that right? I think he was. But most of us were not aware of what it's like. Here in Malaysia was also influenced or affected considerably by that so-called event. There are wars going on, there's different kinds of difficulties which come to our attention, they're always there. It's not like it's just happening now, it's just we're more aware of it, maybe. The methodology, the techniques are a little more complicated. But it's always the nature of this Kali Yuga particularly. There will be strife, turmoil, Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said. The symptom of this Kali Yuga, the material world in general, is annoyance and turmoil. Can't stop. So the Krishna consciousness movement introduced by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, well, maybe we will see some changes externally, but the real essential feature of the, sometimes we hear about the golden age. Symptomatically, to my perspective, there are obviously some external changes taking place, but in general, it doesn't seem like there's a radical change in the situation around us. Now, Krishna may make that adjustment as he desires. As it stands right now, but what is taking place is a golden opportunity, a very golden opportunity to get released from the grip of the material energy, simply by taking shelter of Sankirtan. This is Lord Chaitanya's gift to the world. Other things may also be adjusted, and Prabhupada wanted adjustments to be made within our institution, at least to facilitate the Yuga Dharma, the execution of Sankirtan. We won't get into details, but you may be aware that in his constitution of ISKCON, he had many desires there, directional desires to create more favorable environmental situations to practice Krishna consciousness, isn't it? You can think of some of them briefly. What can you think of that Prabhupada said he wrote in his constitution, which may provide, environmentally speaking, a more favorable situation for practicing devotional service? Can you think of any? To build skyscraper buildings, right? Open up many factories, right? Is that right?
Yes.
Start many political parties. Give liberation to everybody, no matter what they want. Nose pickers liberation movement, whatever you wish. What would you suggest? Loud and clear. Oh, maybe you're agreeing with me. May not be able to hear.
Definitely an increase in chanting of the holy name is definitely increased by I don't know how many folds. And I've also noticed so much interest in studying the scriptures and putting that into practice. Marvelous.
Yeah, well, these were effectual results, but Prabhupada wanted to create. It's just like if you're a farmer. Now, I'm sure most of you are farming. Is that right? You're all doing farming, right? You're farmers? Why not? Most people traditionally were farmers. Well, there were few farmers, but working on the farm. Most people Shudras. Most of the people who work on the farm are called Shudra. But the farmers would organize. So some of you may be Vaishyas or Shudras working on the farm. I don't know. How many are working on the farm here? Hands up. I don't think they understand English. Where? Where? You've been digging the gardens, milking the cows? What does that mean, working on the farm? Pharmacist or what? working in the pharmacy. Well, that's one thing. I mean, Prabhupada did emphasize that he wanted farms. Not just so that we work on the land, but to make it easier to practice Krishna consciousness. The secondary thing was to produce food and offer it to Krishna, but primarily it's an environment which is actually, believe it or not, more favorable for Krishna consciousness. It's even more favorable than, Jala Masjid, India. I mean, you go down there every day to chant japa and study, right? No. Not very favorable environment. Huh? I mean, maybe other places are far worse. I mean, we're coming from Paris, and Paris is renowned for its culture. What type of culture? The culture of sinful activities. Center of sinful activity. Materialistic. Everyone's eagerly trying to aspire for material gains. Most of the world, even religiously speaking, most people are aspiring for material gain, isn't it? Most of you, when you go to of course you're trying to become Krishna conscious, but when you go to a Hindu temple, most people are looking for material gain, is that right or not? You have I remember the first big festival I went to in January 1984 here in Malaysia was Thaipusam. You remember that? You guys remember that, right? You were there too. And Batu Caves, we went past Batu Caves yesterday. Up in the caves. And you see, you all know what goes on. This is the biggest festival, probably Hindu festival, biggest one outside of India, isn't it?
Yes.
In the world, I think. I don't know if it's still the same, but they used to say about 750,000 people would attend this Mela, this Thaipusam festival. And we were there, trying to distribute Bhagavad Gita. Maybe we didn't have many at that time, I can't remember, but we're distributing Bhagavad Gitas in Tamil and English and what have you. And yes, there's a great opportunity to bring Krishna consciousness in to that situation. We can see the effects of, Lord Chaitanya's movement to a large degree in so many places, but to make it really more acceptable to people, Prabhupada wanted to create places, holy places all over the world. Farms, to live a simpler life. And life's a little complicated sometimes, isn't it? Very complex. What do you think? Complex or not? Hey, why are you all bowing down? Oh, okay. Jai, Shishi. Go Nitai. Nitai Sundar Gaur Hari Ki Jai. Shri Jagannatha Baladev Subhadra Ki Jai. Shri Radha Gokulananda Ki Jai. Most people say it's very complicated life today. We can't imagine what it's going to become. We don't know. Maybe it'll come to an end. Maybe it will carry on. I don't know. Up to Krishna. But Prabhupada, whatever it is, the point is it's not necessary to sort of save the world. We sometimes hear, little we're doing in that direction, but to save yourself, to make an environment where you feel, you come into the temple, you're supposed to feel Krishna conscious. Temples, ashrams are supposed to be like oasis. Sometimes Prabhupada would use the word oasis. Oasis? You know this word? Oasis? What is an oasis? Pardon? Huh? Place of nourishment, you could say, yeah. It's usually used as a term within desert regions, isn't it? Any of you been to the desert? Who's been to a desert? You never flown through the Middle East? You must have been to the desert as well as the farm. You've been working in the desert. Vishvarup was working in the desert. I don't know if he's here this morning. Some of you work in the Middle East, you'll see a desert, isn't it? In UAE or wherever it is, Doha, Bahrain, all deserts, Kuwait. You've been there. You've seen the deserts. And sometimes you have what's called an oasis. There'll be some palm trees or date trees or something sticking up, isn't it? There'll be a few houses there. There'll be some water. Somewhere it's coming up from underground. Some water for the trees, and some plants are growing. It's like an oasis in the desert. Generally it's a desert. The material world is like a desert. So Prabhupada wanted to create oasis. The temple is supposed to be like an oasis, where people can come and get relief. Yeah, it's a fact. From the, whether it's complicated, whether it's fearful, whether it's demanding, whether it's whatever it is, disturbing situation of the material world, challenging. An oasis. And what is that oasis? It's not just to get a relief and go back into it again. It's actually to change. The whole problem is not so much the world. One of the fallacies that most people have is that the problem is the world and we have to change it. Or the problem is the people around us. It's everyone else. They have to change. You have to change, okay? They see like that. But the real problem is the way we see it. So the oasis is not so much just get a relief. That should be there. But it's more than that. It's to change the heart. The change of heart that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is talking about is a change of the way we see the world. Instead of seeing it in relationship to who? How do we all see the world? Come on. How do we see it? In relationship to who? No, you don't. Words. How do we see the world? In relationship to me. I like, I don't like. You're black, you're white. You're 2 feet away from me. We see it in relationship to ourselves. Even in, we can say words, but there's some degree, of course. But much of the time, we're not seeing the world in relationship with Krishna, even though we talk like that. We're still seeing ourselves in the world. Otherwise, you wouldn't be affected by anything that goes on in this world. In terms of externals, you may be affected that people are not serving Krishna. That's something different. That's in relationship with Krishna. We're affected by all these things. Some people got afraid when COVID came along, for instance. Anybody here got afraid? All too shy to say yes. You know, COVID's on your doorstep. I don't know how it was here. It wasn't here, it was in France. But they didn't care much in France. They didn't believe it in France, practically. They're revolutionary types, you know. All the doctors signed a petition refusing to give the vaccine. But most of the world was in grip of fear. The deadly disease. You'll be happy to know that the death rate was the same. 100%. Isn't it? What's the death rate? It's 100%. It's this fallacy that only 1% or whatever it is. And even during COVID, the number of deaths was on a par with normal because the number of deaths from flu went down proportionally to the number of deaths of COVID. It was a balance. But it created fear in people's hearts, isn't it? All the time there's some fear, because we're forgetting Krishna. Krishna is feared by fear personified. And the whole idea is to not just a relief, from somewhere you can hide out, but to actually, no matter where you are, to be fearless, to change in perception. That's what Bhagavad Gita is about. It is a way of life, it is a guideline that is good if we can apply it in our lives, but it's actually to change the way we see things. Are you seeing it in relationship to Krishna, or are we seeing it in relationship to ourselves or others around us? Likes and dislikes, fears, attachments, repulsion. Does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita, you have to become attached and repulsed in this world? Does he say that? He says the opposite, doesn't he?
Yes.
Free from fear, envy, anger, and so on, doesn't he?
Yes.
It's easy saying it, isn't it? It's not so easy to really feel it, isn't it? Of course, Krishna's there. We understand that, theoretically at least. And we kind of have some faith that he'll protect us. But what is that protection? It's an internal, isn't it? It's within. It's not protecting the body. It's not that we in the beginning stage we think it's all about the body and protecting. Why am I having so many problems? I talk because Krishna consciousness and I'm still getting so many problems. I think I'll join some other group. I'll go to the Ganesh temple, Mariamman temple. Maybe I'll become some other religious group or something. Because we're thinking in terms of material results and so on. Arjuna was a little like that, wasn't he, in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita? What do you think? Wasn't he? What was his... We're on the first chapter here. We're just about to hear it. We haven't heard it yet. This is just setting the scene. We've seen the armies assembled there, you could say. We've seen the situation of the world around us. And now we've got to face the reality of going into it or going forward. They're about to blow their conch shells. Let's blow the conch shell. Where's the conch shell? Who's got a conch shell? Come on. Bring a conch shell. Who's the best conch shell blower here? Rasaprayana, who's the best? Loudest. Huh? Who? So you're good at conch shell blowing? Wake up. I said, you good at blowing the conch? You good? Is he good?
Yes.
Come on. Is he allowed to blow the conch? Come on, go over there. Let's see you blow the conch. Come on. Get over there. Get your conch and blow it. Anyone else got a conch? You should have all brought your conches this morning. This is a conch blowing session. Where's the conch? Where is he? He doesn't even know where the conch is. He's lost his conch. Got a lot of air in there. I'm sure he can blow it loud.
He blows like Bhima.
He blows like Bhima. He looks like Bhima. Well, not exactly. Maybe a little less. He's got a lot of muscles too. Where's he going? Okay, not yet. Wait for the cue. Wait for the cue. Come over here. Come over here. We're on the Battle of Kurukshetra. Okay? Material world. What's your name?
Vishagan.
Huh?
Vishagan.
Huh?
Vishagan.
Vishal?
Vishagan. Gun.
Vishagan. So Vishagan. Today, let's see. Oh my goodness. Bhima is blowing his conch here. Amazing. Are you a voracious eater? Do you like to eat?
Yeah.
He likes to eat? Little? Oh, Prabhupada. What he said about his sister, right? Prabhupada's sister, Bhavatrini, was a little plump. And Prabhupada always chide her, She eats too much. And sometimes they say, no, bro, I don't. And Prabhupada gives the example, you know that someone's eating at night. If they don't eat much during the day, and they're very plump, That means they're eating at night. Never mind, you have to work like Bhima as well. Okay, we're running against time. No, not against time. Krishna, that's another wonderful thing, isn't it? We have this fear of time, isn't it? We're all like, I know, it's like the world we live in, it's like rushing. When you're on the farm, working on the land, you kind of get regulated, but you're not so afraid of time, it's like life just goes on the same, doesn't it? You just accept it, it just kind of goes on, you do things in systematic order, life is like that. But in this modern age, living in the city, we're all rushing against time. No time, no time, no time, and rush, get up. All day long it's like this, isn't it? You get home, where's the instant pizza? Quick, put it in the microwave, quick, I'm hungry. Got to take the kids to tuition. Do the shopping. Take the dog for a walk, quick. It's like crazy life, huh? Crazy. You're living up there in a pigeonhole on the 11th floor of a, whatever it is, skyscraper. No garden, no fresh air, right? No birds sing. Well, they do have a few birds singing here. It's not too bad. Nice view out the window, looking down on that, whatever that is over there. Skyscrapers all around, if you can see them, if it's not too smoggy to see. And we're living like this. We think we're very advanced, huh? Very wonderful society. Prabhupada that's what it is. We chant Hare Krishna, we do our best, but he wanted to create alternatives to that. So people could feel, breathe air. It's nice breathing air. A lot of the problems is we don't breathe. A lot of health problems are because people don't breathe. You just kind of haven't got time to breathe. Just quick, huh? Relax. Are you relaxed? He's relaxed. He's very relaxed. Deep breathing. It's amazing how it clears you out, People don't eat good food, they don't drink good water, isn't it? Mostly. All this quick food, pace of life, anxiety, stress. Relax. Probably wanted, not that we just simply sit around like a stone, lazy fella. I was just reading, I won't have time to read, but I got this fantastic book. And maybe you've got it. It's Shruti Kirti came here, didn't he? He came here, so you've already seen him. He's amazing how he brings it into, perhaps you've all got this book already. You've seen it, haven't you? You've got it, maybe. What is the difficulty? It's a beautiful book. I won't read it, we won't have time, but it's an amazing book. If you haven't got it, I do have one copy available. What is the difficulty? And he really brings us into Prabhupada's association. In a way different. It's not just historical. How Historical Prabhupada brings us so nicely into it historically. Huh? What is that? I can't hear you. I can't hear either. We're on the same page. At least we agree on something. We can't hear. Okay. And now I can't hear at all. Can you hear? Yes. Okay, we'll start again. We'll go back 30 minutes. So tell me, where were we? You didn't hear. Where were we? We're talking about who? Shruti Kirti and then Hari Sori. how Hari Sori presents in his Transcendental Diary, historical, very beautifully presented, with all kinds of anecdotes and philosophy and lectures, all in there, but it's historical. And others, they present it just from their own a little bit from their own perspective, I'd say. Sometimes we put ourselves in the center a little bit. But Shuddhi Kirti, he really puts Prabhupada in the center. He really puts him in the center. And it's not historical so much, it's more, incidental, various remembrances of special interactions with Srila Prabhupada. Very personal. It's really deep, very special, wonderful souls. All wonderful, but different angles of, let's say, bringing us into Prabhupada's association, bringing us into that fearless zone, bringing us into that zone of transcendental perception. It's by association that we begin to understand how to see things from Krishna's perspective. So let's read a little bit from Bhagavad Gita. It's on the board, is it? Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadadang Dhananjayaha Pondrang Dadmo Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vikodaraha Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadatang Dhananjayaha Pondrang Dadmo Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vikodaraha Panchajanyam Rishikesho Devadatang Dhananjayaha Pondrang Dadmo Mahashankam Bhimakarma Vikodaraha. I'm going to go on, time is short. Panchajanyam, the conch shell. Name Panchajanya. Louder. Rishikesha Ishaha. Well, you can do better than that. Rishikesha. Krishna. The Lord who directs the senses of the devotees. Interesting. Devadatam. The conch shell named Devadatta. Dhananjayaha. Dhananjaya. Arjuna, the winner of wealth. Pondram. The conch shell named Pondra. Dhadmo. Blue. Mahashankam. The terrific conch shell. Bhimakara. One who performs Herculean tasks. Too eager, man. Dan, okay, now you can do. Okay, ready? Blue! His terrific conch shell, once more. Louder. One more time. Well done. Okay. Are you ready for the battle? You better sit down and get something to eat before you start. Voracious eater, Bhima. Prabhupada in the purport says, Lord Krishna referred to as Rishikesh in this verse because he is the owner of all the senses. It's another thing which we don't realize, isn't it? We think my body, my mind, my senses, don't we? It's all my, isn't it? My teeth, my nose, my head, my hair, my everything. But here it says, Krishna is Rishikesh. What does it mean? Huh? The controller of the senses. It also says here, not just a controller, but you may control somewhere, but that's one thing. But it's more than that. What does it say? Huh? Everyone, once I can't hear. The? Huh?
Directs the senses.
Directs one thing. He's the owner of the senses. They're not yours. It's not like he's just directing my senses. They're his senses. He's the owner of everything. It's not ours. Doesn't he say that in the material in the Bhagavad Gita? That everything belongs to him? This is another change of perception, isn't it? It's not just a matter of doing things for Krishna. It's understanding that everything, even the instrument, even ourselves, even the living being, the conscious entity is Krishna's energy. It's not like, oh, I'm rendering service to Krishna. That's the stage we may be at, but that's not, in one sense, that's our constitution. It's like your fingers naturally meant to render service to the whole body. It doesn't sort of stand up and say, hey, I'm doing service for you. It's automatically part and parcel of the body. And it's to realize we're part and parcel of Krishna, another instruction of Bhagavad Gita. That doesn't just mean some impersonal existence, we're all kind of like the same and we're all kind of God or something. It means that actually we exist for the pleasure of Krishna, for the whole. So everything belongs to Krishna, everything is meant for his pleasure. And unless we understand that, we are destined to remain, you could say, in a world of duality. Goodness, passion, or ignorance is still material. We may merge into the impersonal Brahman, but that's even worse from a devotional point of view. So he's the owner of all the senses, and when we realize that everything belongs to him, that everything is going on under whose direction? He also teaches this in the Bhagavad Gita, doesn't he? Ishvara Sarvabhutanam Rajesh Arjuna Tishti. What is he doing? He's in everyone's heart. He's outside as well. He's everywhere, but he's in the heart, and he's guiding the wanderings of all living beings, even the demons. Everyone is actually being guided by Krishna. Nothing is separate. He's one with it. There's no competitor. It's not like there's a battle going on like some people think between, somebody called the devil or something. It's not like that at all. We may have that battle going on in our hearts, as Arjuna is having a battle here of, rights and wrongs. And that's another thing. From Krishna's point of view, there is no such battle. To see everything as the property of the Lord, to know everyone is his eternal, meant to be, his eternal servant. Everything that exists is meant for Krishna's pleasure. There's no other alternative in reality, although Krishna makes it look like that because that's our choice. We have that choice. It's our choice that we're seeing it like this. We may not want that right now, but that's the cause of it, primarily. Our own perception of things. So changing the perception is the underlying purpose of the teachings of the Vedas also, Tamasi Mam Jyoti Gamaha, to come out of this dark way of looking at things into the light, of seeing things spiritually. Blowing the conch, by the way, is not just an interesting sound to recognize the beginning of something. It does have an effect, doesn't it? So when you blow the conch, it can blow away all your sinful reactions. So, not that you should spend all day blowing the conch. Wherever you go, you blow the conch, on the train, in the bus, everywhere you are in the office. What's that guy doing? What's he doing? This crazy guy making that noise all the time. What are you doing? I'm blowing away all the sinful reactions. They'll blow you away, actually. That's the principle. The living entities are part and parcel of him, and therefore the senses of the living entity are also part and parcel of his senses. Prabhupada elucidates on it there. But we think they're ours, this proprietorship. What does Krishna say about how do you get peace? In the Bhagavad Gita he tells you how to become peaceful. How do you become peaceful if you want to be peaceful? True peace, not this external one, true peace. What is the formula? The peace formula. Come on, you're working on the farm, you should know this by heart. What's the peace formula? Bhoktaram yagatapasam. Yeah, not so many of you seem to be aware of that. What does it mean, the peace formula? Completely different to what most people in the world think it means. What does it mean? Well, one who understands that Krishna is he could say in a simple word, everything's meant for his enjoyment. He's the recipient of all of our sacrifice. Everything's meant for his pleasure. Everything, whatever it is meant ultimately. He's the real enjoyer. What else? He owns everything. Everything's his. All the energies, including the spiritual. Krishna also says how the aparayam, all the various energies, they're his energies. They don't belong to anyone else at all. You may be giving a few years of lease to use this body, but it belongs to Krishna. It doesn't belong to us. It's his energy. What else? He's the real friend, the true friend of all living entities. Everyone else is maybe temporarily a friend, so to speak. But it's only you can become an enemy overnight. Doesn't it? Doesn't take much to become an enemy. You can be a friend one day and enemy the next. And Krishna's always the friend of all living entities. Many other factors. The peace formula. The impersonalists cannot account for the senses of the living entities. And therefore they are always anxious to describe living entities as senseless or impersonal. People have only material experience of the senses. They don't understand the real nature of senses, which is really, you could say, it's nothing but an expansion of Krishna's senses. The Lord, situated in the hearts of all living entities, directs their senses. But he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. Where does he say that in the Bhagavad Gita? Maybe not directly that, but where he says, as they surrender, where does he say that? He reciprocates, doesn't he? Ye yatamam prapajyate tamstataiva bhajamyaham. That as they surrender unto me, what does Krishna do? He beats them, huh? What does he do? He reciprocates accordingly. That's what's going on. In all levels, material, spiritual, everything. It's nothing but a reciprocation between the Supreme Lord and the living entity. And all the arrangements in the material world are reciprocal. Whether it's war, disease, old age, death, it's a reciprocation going on here. Now we won't see it like that. We'll see, why is God doing this to me? If he exists, why? We don't understand what's going on here. Just like a child doesn't understand why there are restrictions on his behavior by the parents or the teacher or whatever it is. They don't understand. We don't understand what's going on here. Neither do we understand that actually we're the cause. No. Ultimately Krishna is the cause. But we're one of the various causes of effects, is the living entity's desire. Primarily the material world exists due to the desire of the living entity. We can't create the material world, but the Lord provides it because of our desire. It doesn't exist otherwise. It's not that the material world needs to exist. Is it absolutely required that you have a prison? Do you have any prisons in Malaysia? You have prisons? You've been in one? You were in the prison, huh? He's been inside the prison. You'd be careful who we're associating with here. Some of you have been inside, maybe you preached inside the prison, or you were arrested for some reason. Secrets coming out here. But do you really need a prison? You could say yes and you could say no, isn't it? You could say yes because there are criminals, but if there are no criminals, would you need a prison? You could also say yes as an incentive to try to, frighten people away from becoming one. But if there really wasn't, do you think they have prisons in Satya Yuga? Probably not. Because everyone's in a mode of goodness. It's not absolutely required, but because people are criminals, you have to have a prison. Because people are seeing things separately from Krishna. This is the actual sin. The real sin is to see anything separate from Krishna. All other things come from that. To see yourselves in the center. All problems stem. You could, argue this way and that, but that's the root cause. And thus, when you see things separate from Krishna, Krishna provides the material energy, so you see things separately from him. And we see them in ourselves in the center. Isn't it? That's the Arjuna was seeing himself and his society in the center, humans in the center. Because you're talking nonsense. You're talking nonsense, Arjuna. Vashotan, Vashoshan cha. Pragyavadam Chabasa, say you're talking like an idiot. You're talking like a fool. You're supposed to be a learned man. What are you talking about? This is pretty difficult people to grasp this, I know. But this is to change your perception, to see Krishna in the center of everything. And to help others to see Krishna in the center. That's the mission of the Krishna conscious movement. That's the mission. To create places where Krishna is in the center. Farms, temples, even Prabhupada, it didn't come into the incorporation document. This is the 60th year of the official foundation of ISKCON. And you read the incorporation document, but you haven't read the constitutional document. It's a little different. The one that Prabhupada wrote is not exactly what we see in the incorporation document. He wrote the constitution, which includes the teaching of Sanskrit, by the way. Because the teaching of Sanskrit helps to create or evoke the mode of goodness in people. Children, any child that learns Sanskrit at school, it's difficult when you get old. When you're a kid, it actually creates the mode of goodness in their consciousness. This is why Prabhupada wanted that Gurukul, they chant Sanskrit. Because the child will grow up with that effect. It has an effect on the consciousness of the soul. That's just another thing. He wanted to create Varna Ashram. That we all know. He wanted a society to encourage vegetarian diet. So this is in his constitution. You don't find it in the incorporation document. You know, with sufficient, even mentioned, sufficient proteins, vitamins and so on in the diet. A diet based on, you know, vegetables, grains, milk products like that, fruits. He wanted these things as a foundation. It's like if you're a farmer, as we mentioned before, it didn't go very far because there was only one farmer here in the room. I'm not sure if she's really a farmer or not. She visits the farm from time to time, but I don't think she goes there to farm. Next time you go, you've got to learn to milk the cows and dig the fields, okay? At least pick some fruits or something. Pick the coconuts. So, if you're a farmer, everybody would know. Even if we're not, you know, you've got to prepare the soil, isn't it? You've got to know the climate, you've got to know the season, you've got to know the soil, you've got to know many things. The type of problems you're going to face in that area, maybe there's some various other living entities that you have to deal with. You've got to know as much as you can before and you've got to prepare the situation to put the seedlings in. Farmers know that. They choose their time to put the seedlings in. They don't just put them any old time. The phases of the moon, even Karmi farmers know this. You know? Even the Karmis know this. Certain phases of the moon are favorable for planting this type of seed. The Karmis know this, many of them, the traditional farmers. You have to prepare the soil for that particular type of plant. So like that, you have to prepare the environment. That's the idea, to make it favorable for the Bhaktilata Bij to grow. The whole Vedic culture is based on that principle, to provide a more favorable environment for people to advance in Krishna consciousness. But our modern day society is quite juxtaposed. It's opposite to that practically, isn't it? It's drawing people into a complete like whirlpool of materialism. The education system is 100% geared towards that, practically speaking. Pretty much everything. In media. Of course, there's endeavors otherwise, but more or less the media is captivating people's attention, draws us in. Half of, probably more than half of it, is not even materially true, not to speak of absolutely true. Nothing is. But it's the way that people are captivated. So Krishna is guiding because people want. Their karma is also there. But he directs in terms of the surrender, and in the case of a pure devotee, he directly controls the senses. Directly. Krishna personally. What's that verse? Is it Yesha? Which one is it? No. Oh, what's that verse? Forgotten. I think it's in the 9th chapter. I'm not sure it is. There's one very nice verse in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna is, what is it? There's a story Prabhupada tells of Arjunacharya, one famous, not to us not famous, but in past history, one Acharya. And he was writing a commentary of some kind on the Bhagavad Gita, and he cut this, he couldn't imagine, Krishna personally, how he personally takes, do you remember that verse? Which one is it? Huh? Pardon? Samoham Savakritisha? Pardon? Ananyas Chintayantamam, that's it. Which number is that? 9 what? Huh? Number? 22. I'm on 21, that's one off. There we are.
22.
Yes, thank you. Ananyas Chintayantamam Yejana Payupasati. But those who always render or worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my transcendental form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. We think, how is this? That Krishna carries what we lack and preserve, that he does that for the devotee. And he crossed the line out. He crossed the line out. Then he went away to the market to get some provisions. His wife was at home. And whilst he was away at the market, he didn't do very well at the market that day. He couldn't get very much. But while he was away, all of a sudden in his house, 2 little boys had arrived at his house. One was a darkish colour, the other was white like milk. And they came to his house and they were carrying, I don't see this much now, but it used to be like sometimes, they would carry heavy loads, 2 people with a pole, one on each shoulder, and there'd be the bags or the weights would all be in between, and they would carry it like this. And they were carrying bags of foodstuffs, boga, hanging from this pole. And these little boys, beautiful little boys, came there. Mata, we have brought this for you. Really? Why? Your husband told us to come here with this for you. My husband told you to come here like this? Young boys carrying such heavy weights? What is this? What's my husband doing? Then they said, well, he forced us to do it. Look at our backs. He beat us. They had all these cut marks down their back. What is my husband up to? She got almost angry with her husband. He wasn't there. She said, God, what is it? Come. No, we have to go. Quickly, take this. And they ran away. And then when her husband came back, he said, I'm really sorry, I hardly got anything at the market today. You nonsense. You rascal. You tell me you didn't get anything. I know what you did. You beat those boys. You cut their backs and forced them to bring all this food here today. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? You know what I'm talking about. Come on, don't try to hide the truth. I don't know anything about this. What do you mean? And then she just said, who are these boys you're talking about? Then she described the boys. And then she said, you cut their backs. And then he realized, oh. And that's what it was like. He cut that line out of Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna proved it and showed it to him right there and then that he does provide what the devotee needs. He does provide. How he provides? As they surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Sometimes he will not provide because we don't have the right perception. He wants to change our perception so we completely depend upon him. He wants us to surrender. The symptoms of surrender. Not I surrender, but with love. He wants the relationship. Here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of Arjuna. And thus his particular name is Rishikesh. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhusudana, because he killed the demon of the name Madhu. His name is Govinda, because he gives pleasure to the cows. If you were there yesterday, we were chanting Govinda Jaya Jaya. And to the senses. His name is Vasudeva, because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandana, because he accepted Devaki as his mother. His name is Yashodanandana because he awarded his childhood pastime to Yashoda at Vrindavan. His name is Parthasarathi because he worked as charioteer for his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesh because he gave direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. He has unlimited names. Arjuna is referred to as Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditures for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhima is known as Rikadar because he could eat as voraciously as he could blow the conch. No. As he could perform Herculean tasks, such as killing the demon Hidimba. So the particular types of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords, were all very encouraging to the fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of the goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was the message announced by the sounds of the conch shell. So let us take that sound in the form of, just like you did last night in Puchong. Krishna Chandra, you went to Puchong last night, is that right? And you chanted loudly the holy name, is that right? In this way, you're guaranteed to win. Loud chanting of the holy name of Krishna. Performance of Sankirtan Yajna. And the distribution of transcendental books. How did you do in the Prabhupada book marathon, Rasa Parayana Prabhu? How many Bhagavad Gitas did Kuala Lumpur distribute? Come on, let's hear the conch shell is blown. Let's hear the report of the battle. How many? More than 100,000? 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas. Did you hear that, boys? What are they up to these days? A whole month. Is that 1 month or more? You should be known. This is a report to Srila Prabhupada. You know, Prabhupada liked all positive reports, huh? But the most pleasing to him, generally speaking, was to hear how his books are being distributed. He'd like to hear the results on a daily basis. We would read them out daily in London. Prabhupada wanted to hear them daily. How many books? Yesterday, Bhakta is his name now. Can't remember. One devotee in France. Yesterday distributed 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas on his own. No, I'm not saying, but that during Prabhupada's time. Prabhupada heard the report. 1,000. Back to Andre or something his name was. Tamal Krishna went, Prabhupada, he's just a bhakta. He's just a bhakta. 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas in one day. One person. Mahotsaha in Atlanta distributed 4,200 equivalent Maha Big Books, Bhagavad Gitas and Bhagavatams in one day. 4,200 on his own. And there's maybe 100 or more devotees here. 1,000 in a month. You know what that means? Say there's, 150 devotees here? 6. How many is that per person a month? That's only 6 Bhagavad Gitas each in a month. Gosh, that's nothing. Is it? What do you think? Not much, is it? I mean, it's all good, but I think we can do better than that. Come on, guys. What do you do? All farming. Okay, you're on the farm. That's why I know. Now I understand. They're all growing potatoes or something. Growing coconuts. I'm sure you can do more than that. Maybe that's not the right figure. I can't believe it. 1,000 Bhagavad Gitas. My goodness. This is how we please Prabhupada, by thinking what he wants. This is how we change our perception. Instead of feeling, I don't feel like it. Who cares a damn how you feel except for you and those you are attached to? It's what Krishna feels that counts. That's what's the purpose of installing deities if we just simply worship them the way I feel? It doesn't get us very far. We have to learn how to please Krishna. You offer him what he wants, not what we want. It's usually what you do in a loving relationship. You don't tell the person, I like this, therefore you're going to eat this. Your wife, if you tell your husband like that, he's not going to last very long. You have to find out what the husband likes to eat and give in that, not what you like. But Krishna consciousness, what does Prabhupada is giving us this opportunity to find out, at least to change our perception so we get free of seeing it as simply ourselves in the center. Deity worship, Sankirtan, chanting the holy names, we tend to put ourselves in the center. It's a tendency. But true humility is to put Krishna in the center. That's why Arjuna was absolutely humble when he surrendered to Krishna. He killed many people, but it's only because he surrendered to Krishna. This is actual humility, not putting ourselves in the center. I don't think that's very good. I don't like this. I don't, whatever. Conditional perception we have, but to see it from Krishna's point of view. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yes. Our hero today, Bhima saying. Any comments, questions? From the learned audience, Maharaj, how do we grow papaya? I don't know. You have to ask a farmer. Hare Krishna. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for your wonderful class.
It's full of wonders. I wonder what on earth was he talking about there? Didn't understand a word of it.
Yes, my wife Chintamani, she does a lot of farming every day.
Well, she didn't put her hand up. Where's your wife?
Yes.
Hand up. You're a farmer. There you go, we have a farmer with us. You can answer that question, how do you grow papaya? Give her the mic, how to grow papaya.
I wanted to ask you a question, Maharaj. Since nothing is separated from Lord Krishna, how a devotee can understand the suffering and the problems of this world, and so many things are going on in relation to Krishna? If you can say some words on this.
How a devotee can understand the goings-on of the world in relation to Krishna?
Yes.
How a devotee can understand the going-ons, what's happening around us in the world in relationship to Krishna?
Yes.
How we can understand, let's say, well, what would you give an example, like war or something like that?
Yes, it is suffering and extreme
Sufferings. What the sufferings are.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, you know, it depending again on the. I remember one devotee in France. I think it was in France. I can't remember. But this question came up, and they said that this very great personality, when he was asked this question, I won't mention her name. It's embarrassing. But they were asked this question and said, "This question we cannot answer. It is the work of the devil." Yeah, they're the leader of a major religion. They were so humble. Say, well, wait a minute. They're the leader of a great organization. They don't know why things are going on. Something's wrong. We're going farming time. It's time to water the whatever it is, the green cabbages or whatever you're growing out there. Where are they going on? Well, we understand that everything, not a blade of grass moves without the will of the Lord. We understand that everything goes on under His direction. What else do we understand? So now we're going to blame Krishna for all the suffering, right? It's his fault. We put the devil aside, okay? Give him a break. It's all Krishna's fault. Is that it? Is that the answer? Is that the answer? Krishna likes to see you suffer. Is that the answer? No. So, who else are you going to blame? Huh? Blame who? Yeah, you can't really, when you're preaching, amongst devotees is one thing. We understand that because of our, let's say, our determined desire to try to see ourselves in the center, and because of the way we've reciprocated with Krishna and his energies, we're getting, devotees understand that, we're getting karmic reactions and so on. It's difficult to let's say, share this with most people. They don't, that's probably one of the reasons they try to dismantle the old concept of karma, for instance. So how are you going to explain this to people? Any suggestions, anybody? How are you going to explain? Why is there a war? Why are children being killed? They seem to be innocent, don't they? They're being bombed out. They're being shot. They're dying of starvation. Why? What have they done to deserve that? Most people have an idea of karma. They may not use the word that, you get punished if you do bad things, isn't it?
Yes.
Most people have that idea. At least they kind of understand something. But what has a child done? What did I do to deserve getting, come along and shoot me? What have I done? Well, what problem is they don't believe in that. They may have some concept in this lifetime. That's why we have laws and punishments, at least in human life. But they don't accept that that there's a previous life to this one. This is just on a karmic level. That life is eternal. So the understanding of the nature of the self or the soul, where Prabhupada put more emphasis on trying to understand our spiritual nature. Because when we understand our spiritual nature, all this becomes anarthopashamam shakshat bhakti yoga dhochite. It becomes superfluous. It's like, if you're sitting in a room and you're watching a television, and next to you is your dog. You may not have a dog, but just say your dog is sat next to you, and the television's on, and you're getting really excited by whatever the program is. Maybe you're getting scared of what you're seeing. Maybe you're becoming overwhelmed by emotions about what you're seeing. And you're getting really, carried away by it. Because your identification is with what you're watching, isn't it? And when we identify with this world and the world around us as reality, this body and so on, then we get really affected, isn't it? What do you think? Even Bhima gets affected. You get very affected. When you don't identify, the dog is sat there, tongue out, wonder what's wrong with you. It doesn't mean anything to the dog. It doesn't identify with it. Or even personally speaking, if somebody over the road dies now, it doesn't affect us because we don't identify with them. So what's the purpose of all of this? What's the purpose of a prison house? What's the purpose of a prison? It has several meanings from different angles, but what's the real purpose of a prison? Anybody know? Huh? Rehabilitate. Yeah, that's, you could say, the deep reason. It's not easy, is it, to reform a criminal? It's not easy. Very hard. But that's the idea. It's not just to punish them. Why do you sometimes admonish your children? Don't like them. Is it because you don't like them?
No,
Why?
we love them.
But why do you get strong with them sometimes, or restrict them, or whatever you do?
Krishna says in the,
Pardon?
Krishna says in the Gita, amongst corrections and punishment.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, isn't it? Why are there laws and rules in place in society? Why? They're there for, meant to be for the welfare, for the long-term welfare. They can be seen as punishments sometimes, depends how you look at it. On the universal platform, it's meant for that. It's not just meant to release us from good or bad karmas, but it's meant to change our perception. Change. And that's why scriptures are there, but people don't follow. The scriptures are there. They're supposed to be direction in society. They're supposed to be spiritual leadership. It's Kali Yuga, so it's very limited. But still something is there, and people don't want to follow that. So what do? It's inevitable that you're going to suffer. But they're there to direct us so that we start to behave in a way where we'll stop acting in a way which creates suffering. Like a child doesn't know. We're in ignorance. People are in gross ignorance of what they're doing. They take liquor, they smoke, they take drugs, they gamble, they eat meat. They don't realize the consequences of all these things. And punishment is there, it's meant to be, to try to help us. But that's not the, there has to be education. From the spiritual point of view, it is a desperate's not the word, but an urgent call for devotees to express compassion. That's why I mentioned with the book distribution, for instance. An urgent call of the need to distribute knowledge, to distribute subject matter which will help to wake people up. To wake people up. It's not just a never-ending cycle of karmas, but it's meant to actually help to wake us up from this illusion of false identity. So this knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, is so essential. People may not be able to grasp it. We have to create some way or another that people could when there's a suffering condition, a devotee does feel distress. Paradukha dukhi. He feels he's suffering to see the suffering of others. It should draw out of devotees that compassionate nature that you want to try to help people. It's not just about going in there and feeding them. That may be there also. But it's actually much, much more than that. Much more. Deeper, very deep. They're Krishna's parts and parcels. We understand that no one's innocent in this world. His past karma, your false identity. But it devotes compassion. How to try to help these people to somehow or another, whatever it is. I was hearing yesterday from Srila Prabhupada, how much he was saying the importance of prasadam distribution. So important. He was saying that nothing else, just prasadam. They can't do nothing else. Just mass distribution of prasadam. This may not seem to solve the problem, but it does, because it starts to get to the root of the problem itself. The problem is not just karma. The problem is not just bad management. The problem is it's the ignorance that people are in. Ignorance. They're ignoring their real self-interest. For many people when they're suffering, it does make them think, by the way. I know many people, they start to think, what's the point of it all? When they experience these sufferings. What's the point? It makes them think a little bit. What conclusion or direction they take is another thing. There's an opportunity when there's suffering. It's a very glorious opportunity for devotees, we may be few, great opportunity for us to try to urgent, to become a little more urgent in the preaching. And you see this materially. I remember in Brisbane, in Christchurch, I was also there when just after the earthquake there. But in Brisbane, there was a big flood maybe 20 years ago. It was amazing how all the people, somehow or another, got together to help people who were, suffering in the flood. Same thing in the earthquake in Christchurch, or anywhere come to that. How it brings people together sometimes for a common cause. As the cause they have is a material one, but still the principle is the same. They bring us together so that we really work together united and try to sacrifice the welfare of others, so to speak. Pleasure of Krishna, for the welfare of others, and try to preach. The devotee sees this from different angles, but certainly from this angle, all the more reason why we should surrender to Krishna. All the more reason why we should try to share Krishna consciousness with others. It's what Prabhupada wanted to do. Seeing the suffering condition of the world, Lord Chaitanya appeared in this world. He came to give the medicine to cure all the ills of this age. To cure remove the ignorance and cure the ills of Kali Yuga, particularly any yuga. So next year on the book distribution, you're going to increase it 10 times, okay? I won't come back otherwise, okay? 10 times. At least 10,000 next year, okay? The Live to Give campaign is just finished, but that's over a period of three months. And during the period of 3 months, you can distribute at least 10,000 Gitas, okay? Be conscious. There's no signs anywhere, but become conscious of this will of Krishna, this will of Srila Prabhupada, and how we can become one with the will, not one with the person, but the will. The Bhagavad Gita is Krishna's will. This is his will. He's left his will. Follow it. If you don't follow the will, you get in trouble. If you don't follow the law, you get in trouble. And let's try to, live the law and share the law with others, so that they can also become freed of the effects of the material energy, never having to take birth again. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaura Premanandi. Hare Krishna. Thank you all very much.